Hey, it's Mr. Kostenbader. This is my son's mask that I just dug out of the basement. Uh, Welcome. I hope you had a great spring break. All right, you had a chance to refresh. We're going to be moving on with these masks. You're going to have the opportunity now to take all your ideas that you've worked on and create a physical mask. All right, and I encourage you to use whatever you have at home, whether it's worksheet paper, cereal boxes. We can also discuss paper mache if you're interested in that. So I'll run by some of the different options that you have. I encourage you to use your most creative sketch, whichever one that might be. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so I'm at my workspace, which, by the way, you know, artists have to be creative. It's a piece of plywood on some boxes, and this is an old curtain. Okay, so I made do with an area that had better light for you guys. So that's why I'm over here on working on some boxes, some plywood. But let's talk about what we've done so far. All right, we've done copy of masks. That's where we did some research and drew out cultures, 3 different cultures. Last week you created drawings of masks by combining. All right, so it looks something like this. This was our 3 original ones that I sketched out for you. Chinese, African, and I took a combination of things, like I like the Alaskan nose, and so I combined several cultures to create my own mask. All right, so this is the one that I'm going to go with. This is the one that I'm going to make a mask from and use it as inspiration for my final mask. All right, if you saw me earlier holding up my son's mask that we had lying around, this is just simply made out of construction paper, folded in half. The nose was folded in half. I actually think you could take this. I'd like to see you take it even a step further and maybe make eyelids and other things that are 3D. And, you know, the more elements that you add like that, the more interesting it's going to be. All right, so some materials you could use for this project, of course, construction paper if you have it. Cereal boxes. I prefer Captain Crunch, but cornflakes will work. All right, this was like a cat food box. That would work. You could also use plain old white photocopy paper or worksheet paper. Any of that will work for this project. All right? So what you're going to do is start with just like when we draw. Okay, you have your materials, right? Gather your materials so you have everything in one space. Some things that I'll be using: pencil, a butter knife for scoring. I'll show you how to do scoring. Scissors if you have it. Some tape, some glue. Some of these things can be modified. You just, again, use as many things that you have at home as possible. If you don't have any of those tape and glue, you can. I'll show you how to do things like you could try slotting, or keep the whole thing flat if that's not possible. Okay, and we can just fold it down the middle. So use what you have. All right, so let's start with, just like drawing, start with your largest object first. I'm going to move this aside. Okay, so this is what I'm starting with. All right, you could draw this or sketch this first, but watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fold this in half. I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to make it approximate. This is like live, unedited TV. Anything could happen. Okay, there I have my shape. Maybe I don't like it. I could fold it back up. Maybe this is too wide. Too Shrek-like right here. I want to maybe make this a little bit narrower. I like Shrek, but maybe not for this mask. Okay, so I'm starting with the largest shape first. There we go. All right, notice how this is kind of flimsy. What I could do is take some of this cardboard, make a support. Now, backing up just a little bit, I could also do the mask directly right on this cardboard. That would be a much firmer structure. All right, or I could go right into the construction paper. That's a firm structure as well. I'm kind of using the flimsiest because that's going to be the most challenging. All right, I could just take something as simple as this strip of cardboard, fold it in half, flip your mask over, and tape that down. And I think you'd be surprised at how sturdy this mask will be by just adding some cardboard supports. You see that? That no longer moves around. And I could add another one to the bottom if I wanted to. All right. Or like I said, you could go right into the cardboard if you like. Cardboard has a very interesting quality to it structurally. So that's really up to you. Okay, next would be adding, what do you think is the next large object? We could do the headdress, all right, the top part. Again, I could sketch this first. Doing a real quick sketch, cutting it out. Again, this is the flimsiest material to be using. If you have cardboard, I would highly recommend doing this out of cardboard. This goes just a little bit faster for me as well while I'm doing this. Okay, this could be the headdress. All right, to add structure and make it look more 3D. Let me put this underneath so you can see it a little bit better. We can do scoring. All right, I'm just going to take an old magazine, Entrepreneur, the rock on it, and do some scoring. All right, one way to score is to take a butter knife or the smooth side of the scissors, not the sharp side, and simply push. I have a soft magazine underneath. Push into the paper hard enough that I'm making a crease. All right, and I could flip. It's a little easier if you flip it over. You don't have to, but you could use either side. But watch what happens now that I pushed into this paper and I scored it. If I gently bend this back, it makes a nice fold. Now you have to be patient. See, I got a little impatient there, and now I have an extra fold I'm not too crazy about, but you can see how that starts to add dimension to the headdress part of it. Okay, and then I could tape that or glue that onto my headdress.